My finest idol is Beyonce. The primary element I noticed was her beauty and how beautiful she become, after which I listened to her track and I cherished her music. She's distinctly talented. I assume she's what every lady artist need to strive to be, on attempt to be like. Well, Rihanna does not talk so rather of Beyonce anymore, and as it seems it's due to the fact they cannot stand Riri. But what ought to Rihanna possibly have carried out to make they absolutely blacklist her? So whilst Rihanna started out, she became certainly a huge fan of Beyonce, similar to hundreds of thousands of human beings again inside the day. So I hear what you're a large fan of Beyonce. I love her. Rihanna even stated that Beyonce used to frequently give her advice and even as soon as wrote her a letter. And so has she given you any type of advice? Or yeah, she honestly wrote me this lovable little letter and she signed it with her autograph. It becomes so adorable. Once I first met her and he or she wrote she became telling me simply let out whilst you carry out and simply have amusing and be on top of things. Now all of us realize that for years there were limitless rumors about how Beyonce can't stand when any other girl singer receives greater interest than she does. Let's simply say that when Rihanna commenced becoming extra famous than Beyonce, Queen Bey felt threatened, and that is while the pork commenced. It actually became very clear that there has been a trouble when Beyonce released her music Bow Down, seemingly telling each different woman artist including Rihanna that they had to bow down due to the fact she's the queen. Apparently Rihanna spoke back to Bey telling the opposite artists to bow down via writing, "I most effective recognize a way to be primary. I should use a venture how that feel down there to your knees." How she also reposted an editorial that stated that she became the queen of pop and captioned her post quote, "It's only March, humans hashtag 2013 is already owned hashtag stay tuned stop quote." And after those comments the Beehive slammed Rihanna because they saw the post as a response to Bey. Then shortly after Beyonce published what appeared to be a subtle response to Rihanna's submit, she posted a photograph of her and her daughter Blue Eyes. Those matching chairs for her sold out the Mrs. Carter show. Speaking of Bow Down, are you able to agree with that the track become truly written for Rihanna and now not Beyonce? Songwriting brothers Rock City, the same ones that wrote Rihanna's hit songs Man Down, We Can't Forestall and Replay, revealed in a podcast that they wrote the song in 9 minutes for Rihanna, and when she didn't take it they exceeded it over to Beyonce. Funny factor is that Beyonce gave a very targeted account of ways she got here up with the music. Simply listen. "The cause I positioned out Bow Down is due to the fact I awoke, I went into the studio, I had a chant in my head, it become aggressive, it changed into indignant. It wasn't the Beyonce that wakes up every morning, it became the Beyonce that changed into angry. It turned into the Beyonce that felt the want to protect herself. And if this tune never comes out, okay, I stated it and I listened to it after I finished and I stated this is warm, I'ma placed it out, I'm not gonna promote it, I'm gonna just put it out. Human beings adore it, exquisite. They don't basically she lied, and that would not be the first time they lied about writing a song. You all take into account how she stated she wrote Irreplaceable and Neo checked her and all night time that turned into every other music that Rihanna rejected that were given picked up with the aid of Beyonce. So another cause why Beyonce cannot stand Rihanna is because despite the fact that Beyonce has been in the industry longer, Rihanna has offered greater data than she has through a long way. Riri is simply one of the pleasant promoting artists of all time, managing to promote over 250 million statistics. However, Beyonce has simply so offered 100 million statistics, which is likewise remarkable, but when compared to Riri's 250 million, not so much with regards to business. Beyonce also doesn't evaluate to Rihanna, who launched Fenty Beauty at Sephora in 2017 to big business fulfillment. In fact, the brand added Rihanna 570 million in revenue after just the first 15 months. Rihanna then formally have become a billionaire in 2021 way to her Fenty Beauty garb and lingerie, putting her once more in advance of Beyonce. And then there is Beyonce's Ivy Park that has just been tanking in sales a lot in order that Adidas is cancelling the collab, seemingly even in terms of popularity, as lots as Beyonce has extra followers on social media in step with Google Seek. Rihanna is in the long run the extra searched, extra famous and more well-known pop superstar of the two. You can see here that inside the United States and South Africa Beyonce is greater known, but Rihanna is extra recognized everywhere else inside the global Is it viable that Beyonce additionally cannot stand Rihanna due to the fact even Riri's dating is better, being that hers is much less poisonous, but even before that it is continually been stated that they had a hassle way again, while her very own husband Jay-Z became fond of Rihanna in 2005 whilst Rihanna's song Pon the Replay came out. It at once attracted the eye of Jay-Z, who had just emerged as the CEO and president of Def Jam Information, and consistent with Rihanna that changed into the satisfactory aspect that passed off to her on the time running with Jay and having a collaboration with him. It's just one of these matters that everyone goals to do of their musical profession, and here I am at 19 years old with the primary single and proposing Jay-Z is just, I cannot fathom it from time to time. It's just too much for me. It is overwhelming every so often. Then problems started while Jay-Z allegedly commenced hitting on Riri and had an affair together with her. Well, Rihanna's publicist additionally stated that they came up with a rumor to push Rihanna's profession by way of announcing in an email, the PR stunt that I did turned into out of desperation to help spoil Pon the Replay. It turned into reckless and I failed to suppose it changed into going to paintings. I became just throwing spaghetti at the wall to look what would stick. The publicist also stated that they failed to suppose it would be that huge of a tale. However, seeing Beyonce suffer and understanding that humans were cashing in on speculations and critiques about her honestly became his belly. Sincerely, I know that publicists have been paid before to mention such things, but anyway, it's also been stated that after Jay-Z and Beyonce realized that Riri become rising too fast, they literally tried to sabotage her career. Reportedly, Jay-Z went in the back of Rihanna's back and leaked her album Anti in advance to assist prop up his wife Beyonce's formation. Anti leaked on Identify, the streaming carrier, who became owned via the Carters in advance. Then it turned into Anticipated, to which led to Rihanna releasing it herself, offering up free download codes for fanatics to pay attention the album without procuring it. Then at the title press convention across the same time, an insider talked about what was going on backstage, pronouncing they refused to face subsequent to each other or even speak with every different handlers and coordinators went to great lengths to hold the divas glad. The whole show was carefully choreographed and these two had almost nothing to do with each different. But guess what, even after that malicious move in January 2023, Anti had spent 350 weeks at the Billboard 200, making it the first album by way of a black woman artist to attain that milestone within the chart's history. Anyway, lower back to the relationships. Yes, Jay-Z is extra influential and greater powerful than A$AP Rocky, but the way he controls A$AP ought to never, and the more tablets he pumps down his spouse's throat to hold him. No girl is loose, she is a prisoner in a responsible cage. Isn't always it also weird that Beyonce and Rihanna have never collaborated on a music, although it would make a whole lot of experience for them to collaborate given how intently they each labored with Jay-Z, like Beyonce has collabed with Nicki Minaj and even Megan Thee Stallion. And do not even begin with the argument that they have not collaborated due to the fact they have one-of-a-kind manufacturers. Them having exceptional sounds is not an excuse for them no longer to collab, due to the fact usually the whole factor of a collab is bringing collectively artists with one-of-a-kind backgrounds and merging their sounds. Plus, both Rihanna and Bey have executed songs with artists who've unique sounds from theirs, so it truly is not an excuse. Something that makes greater sense is that Beyonce and Rihanna haven't collaborated because Beyonce cannot stand Rihanna. Truly, there are quite a number of reasons why Bey apparently can't stand Riri, but manifestly there are folks that also say that Rihanna is not even on Beyonce's stage and might by no means compare to Bey. Like one individual even wrote on Twitter, Rihanna isn't original nor innovative. Rihanna does not have a sound, she sings, something is given to her, she's slightly pinnacle 30 and maximum each day streamed artist. She does have hits, that is mainly it. It is clean to drag in a ton of streams when you've heavily playlisted your catalog. Do you settle, or do you suspect Beyonce cannot stand Rihanna due to the fact